All right, let's jump right in. Today, we're setting out on a kind of personal expedition. It's one that's going to challenge how you think about the very place you live. We're going to try and redefine our sense of home, not by looking at a map drawn by politicians, but by looking at the living world right outside our doors. We're all taught to see the world a certain way, carved up by state lines, zip codes, and country borders. But what if those lines are actually telling us the wrong story? What if they're masking where we truly belong?
So seriously, take a second and think about it. What really defines home for you? Is it just an address, a name on a map? Or is it something deeper? Something you can actually feel and see and touch every single day?
Well, if you look at it, there are two ways to see this. On one side, you have the political borders, the artificial lines we've all learned. But on the other, you have the real deal, the natural boundaries that have shaped life for thousands, even millions of years. And that gets us to the heart of the matter. Your bioregion is your life place. It's defined by nature itself, using boundaries like watersheds, climate, and the native ecology, instead of all those invisible political borders. It's like underneath that familiar map of states and countries, there's a whole other map, a more ancient one. It's a map drawn by the flow of water, the tilt of the land, and the spread of life itself. So, what is this hidden map? What do we even call it? Well, this is where we get a brand new compass for figuring out our place in the world, the idea of a bioregion. A bioregion is, pretty simply, your life place. Think of it as nature's own neighborhood. It's not about those man-made lines, it's about the web of life that you're a part of. It's where your own story gets woven into the much, much larger story of the Earth. So the key thing to get is that a bioregion is a living, breathing system. It's defined by its watersheds, and you can think of those as the land's circulatory system, right? All the water flows to a common place. It's also shaped by its climate, the specific geology and soil under your feet. It's home to your living neighbors, all the native plants and animals. And really importantly, it also includes the human cultures that have grown up in a relationship with that very specific place. And yeah, when we say flora and fauna, we're really talking about the unique characters in your local story. These are the specific trees you see change every fall, the birds you hear every morning, the wildflowers that pop up and tell you spring is finally here. They are the living pulse of your home's identity. Okay, so this all sounds amazing, right? But how do you actually find your bioregion? Let's get practical for a minute. And here's the best part. This whole journey of discovery is open to absolutely everyone. You don't need to be a scientist. All it really takes is a little bit of curiosity and knowing where to look online. It's really just a simple three-step process. First, obviously, just know where you are, your city or address. Second, hop online and use an amazing tool like the One Earth Navigator. It'll show you the bioregional map for your area. And third, just start digging. What watershed are you in? What plants are native to your soil? It's kind of like being a detective, uncovering the secret story of the place you call home. But understanding your bioregion, it's about so much more than just mapping out physical stuff. It's about mapping your own sense of belonging. This quote from Peter Berg and Raymond Dasman just hits the nail on the head. A bioregion isn't just a place on a map. It's also a terrain of consciousness. It's the culture, the stories, and that deep down feeling of connection that comes from really living in a place. So let's break that down. The biogeophysical terrain is the physical world around you, the hills, the rivers, the soil. But that terrain of consciousness, well, that's internal. It's that felt sense of home, the local traditions, the very act of building relationships with the people and the land around you. It's that gut feeling. You know exactly what I'm talking about, right? When you cross a certain river or see a particular ridgeline and something inside you just relaxes. You feel like you've arrived. That's it. That's your terrain of consciousness at work. So where does this all lead? I mean, this new awareness isn't just for fun facts. It's actually a call to action. It's an invitation to engage more deeply with where you are. And that brings us to this really powerful idea, re-inhabitation. It means choosing to become a true inhabitant of your place. It's learning its stories, understanding its rhythms, and committing to its future as if your life actually depends on it, because in a lot of ways, it does. And this is really why it matters so much. When you understand your bioregion, you're not just a resident with an address anymore. You become a steward, a caretaker. This knowledge builds a deep sense of responsibility for the health and the future of your home. So if there's one thing to take away, it's this. Our real home isn't defined by some line on a map. It's defined by the living world around us, our bioregion. Finding this life place connects us in a profound way, and it changes our role from just being a resident to being an active participant. Every single life place on this planet has a story, a grand unfolding story, and knowing your bioregion is just the first step. The real question is, once you start to learn that story, what role will you choose to play?